The Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers movie has more Easter eggs and hidden secrets than a tree has nuts. Time to uncover the mysteries. After 30 years of fading into obscurity, Chip and Dale reunite to save their old pal Monterey Jack. And if they sound different yet strangely familiar, that's because they're voiced by SNL alumni Andy Samberg and John Mulaney. Still, keep those ears perked up because Chip and Dale slip into their high-pitched squeaks every now and then, and when they do, they're voiced by Tress MacNeille and Corey Burton, the original voices from the Rescue Rangers TV show. But they're not the only familiar voices or faces you'll come across, because the cameos and references in this movie simply do not stop. Let's start things off at the scene of the crime. Pay attention to the police officers in Monterey Jack's apartment after he's gone missing. Recognize the two donuts studying the pizza box? They're officers Winchell and Duncan from the Sugar Rush machine in Wreck-It Ralph and Ralph Breaks the Internet. Their names and likenesses, of course, are a play on two real-life rival donut chains, Winchell's and Duncan. They're not the only computer-generated characters, so is Dale. Now, for the very first time, thanks to a surgery he underwent in an effort to keep his career afloat. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers takes advantage of mixed media. You'll see 2D animated characters, CG characters, and stop-motion characters all coexisting in the same world with live-action performers like Kiki Lane. She plays Officer Ellie Steckler, a cop on Monterey Jack's case who just so happens to be a Rescue Rangers superfan. For this live-action meets animated setting, the filmmakers drew inspiration from another classic film. Check out who Chip and Dale are dancing with. It's Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was the 1998 groundbreaking film that won Academy Awards for mixing live action and animation, and the Rescue Rangers filmmakers were heavily influenced by it. In fact, the titular character isn't the only Roger Rabbit reference in the movie. Later on, when Sweet Pete pulls out a torture kit, do you see that vial? Dip was a threatening substance in Who Framed Roger Rabbit that could completely wipe a tune from existence. Strangely enough, in this movie, to keep characters quiet before being bootlegged, Sweet Pete's Valley Gang used a much more basic and logical technique. They erase the victim's mouth so they can't scream for help. What they do next, though, is a bit more disturbing. Sweet Pete's goons also strip their victims of their most trademark physical features, a startling discovery Chip and Dale make when they break into Sweet Pete's secret base of operations. Take a look at the bagged and tagged cartoon bits, the Mad Hatter's hat, Pink Panther's maw, Mr. Potato Head's potato head, and, of course, Monty's mustache. You could sit with this still frame for hours trying to identify the pieces and their owners. Speaking of pieces, Chip and Dale aren't just trying to save their old pal Monty. In the process, they begin to pick up the pieces of their broken friendship, which hit the skids when Dale went behind Chip's back to star in his own show titled Double O Dale. Did you know that something like Double O Dale really existed? Actually, you probably do. You just don't know that you know. In the early 90s, Disney developed Double O Duck, but the project hit a wall because the title Double O is owned by Ian Fleming's estate. Fleming is the author of the James Bond novels, from which Double O Duck was directly influenced. Instead, Double O Duck was reworked and became Darkwing Duck. Speaking of, guess who gets the Marvel hero treatment? Thanks to Marvel, everyone watches the end credits, and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers rewards you with a cameo from the universe's very own superhero Darkwing Duck. Voiced by one of the original Darkwings, Jim Cummings. If his rally for a personal resurgence is any indication, Chip and Dale might just be the Iron Man of the Disney Afternoon Cinematic Universe. But while you've still got Marvel on the brain, prepare your mind to be blown by this next Easter egg. This isn't so much a blink and you'll miss it as it is a squint or you'll miss it detail, but pay attention to the graffiti walls when the chipmunks leave Dale's car to hit Main Street on foot. Does that black silhouette with the white drippy outline look like anything you've seen before? The artist's name is Morales, as in Miles Morales, from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And if pop art is your bag, check out this next touch. Back at the scene of the crime when Chip and Dale first meet Captain Putty, voiced by Oscar winner J.K. Simmons, look at the wall behind Chip on the staircase landing. That askew piece of the lady chipmunk with the smoldering gaze might generate a chuckle or two from art fanatics. That's because it's a spoof on the works of American artist and animator Patrick Nagel. Nagel's most famous work might be his album cover for the band Duran Duran and their 1982 record Rio. These days, an original hand-painted Nagel can go from anywhere between $8,000 to over $500,000. What else does Rescue Rangers poke fun at? How about classic action movies? During a fight sequence later in the movie, Captain Putty does what Putty does best and becomes amorphous. He plays out the rest of the scene just like the T-1000 from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And there's more blockbuster movie nods. You might remember hearing the term bootlegged earlier. In the movie, this refers to a painful process in which cartoon characters are physically transformed just enough to be recognizable, but not so much that they can't be used to sell second- or third-rate projects overseas. At one point, Sweet Pete himself gets transformed into a multifaceted beast and runs amok. After laying waste to the knockoff Aladdin set, he gives off a roar while a banner falls before him, just like the T-Rex in the original Jurassic Park. By the way, did you recognize any of the different pieces of Pete in his new form? There's Wreck-It Ralph's arm, Mickey Mouse's trunks, a Transformer leg, and Woody the Cowboy's leg to be sure. But the most interesting touch is the head, a kitten version of Fat Cat, Chip and Dale's arch nemesis from the TV series. Bootlegs aren't the only place to find memorable characters. How about some sneaky product placement? Like when Chip goes into his freezer after a long day at work, there's not just one, but 3 different Easter eggs here. To the left, you have Ice Age brand ice cream from Fox and Blue Sky's animated film. To the right, there's a Tyson brand box with the Looney Tunes trademark, and no less than Foghorn Leghorn and his sidekick Henry Hawk on the label. Front and center, Chip picks up a veggie medley featuring Frozone, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson in The Incredibles. Geez, talk about being spoon-fed. Here's one that might be harder to spot. When Chip and Dale come face to face with Sweet Pete in his office, Pete tells Jimmy, his muscle, to untie our 2 heroes. Okay, out of the gate, Jimmy is none other than one of the Coca-Cola polar bears made famous in a line of commercials that began running for the soft drink brand in 1993. Jimmy's a gimme, but you gotta be quick and really concentrate on this magazine. The back cover is a print ad for a fragrance called Pepe, and there's a skunk on the bottle. This is a reference to the famous love-obsessed Looney Tunes skunk Pepe Le Pew. Here's another toughie. Don't blink or you'll miss it. At the Russian bathhouse, take a closer look inside Sweet Pete's locker when Pete puts his step tracker in there for safekeeping. On the right, you'll find a jar of macadamia nuts, and on the label is none other than our favorite young wayfinder, Mata Nui Chief, Moana. Oh, and we're not done yet. Earlier in the movie, Chip goes sulking on Hollywood Boulevard after Dale tries to tempt him into a Rescue Rangers reboot. Chip passes by billboards and posters of fake movie reboots like Fast and Furious Babies, Mr. Doubtfire starring Meryl Streep, and Batman vs. E.T. We'll get to that last one in a second. But when Chip sees the billboard and says, okay, yeah, that one looks pretty good, pause it fast. Look at the bus stop ad for Gucci. The model is none other than Dobby the house elf from the Harry Potter series. Seems his career's doing just fine, unlike poor old Chip. Like Dale, Chip's career has come to a screeching halt. But unlike Dale, Chip moved away from entertainment and friendship to become a top-performing insurance salesman who avoids new relationships and stews at home with his dog, Millie. Remember that Batman vs. E.T. billboard? Yep, Chip winds up checking it out at home. On Chip's TV, E.T. looks terribly wounded and says, "E.T., forgive Bat," to which Batman replies, "Fine." Through his own tears, Chip says, "Yeah, right, like that would happen." This moment not only gives insight into Chip's emotional hang-ups with Dale, it's also poking fun at the movie Batman vs. Superman, in which Bruce Wayne spares the Man of Steel's life when he realizes that their mothers share the same name, Martha, an infamous scene considered comically improbable by audiences. Oh, and by the way, we've only scratched the surface of the character cameos. Buckle up. We just couldn't wait to get back to the Russian bathhouse. Why? While these 2 gumshoes are picking up the tracks of Sweet Pete, they come across some other very interesting characters while crawling along the overhead pipes, including 2 pigs in a sauna. But wait, who's sitting next to them? If you're a fan of dads, then you recognize this sullen sauna sweater to be none other than Stan Marsh's dad, Randy Marsh, from South Park. One of the most ridiculous cameos comes in the form of Sonic the Hedgehog. Nope, not that one. That one. Yeesh. Those teeth still give me the creeps. This is Ugly Sonic, the first design of the character that was supposed to be in the 2020 movie, but when the internet caught a glimpse of him, a backlash ensued that caused Paramount to redesign the character before the film's release. Thanks to Rescue Rangers, Ugly Sonic gets his day in the convention circuit sun and gets to poke a little meta fun at his own expense, or to his own benefit. Glass half full, people. Moving on, because the references keep on a-coming. Take a look at the LAPD, specifically the Crime Analysis Detail Desk at the far end on the right. That frustrated hound is none other than McGruff the Crime Dog. If you don't know, McGruff was created in 1980s thanks to the Ad Council and the National Crime Prevention Council in order to take a bite out of crime. No movies, no TV series unless you count an episode of Celebrity Deathmatch. Instead, McGruff features in public service announcements that continue to teach kids about the dangers of stealing, drugs, bullying, stranger danger, and now, of course, all sorts of cybercrime. I guess you can teach an old dog new tricks. Speaking of tricks, just try making all the connections in this next egg. When Chip and Dale finally thwart Sweet Pete and his Valley gang, they find the shipping container holding all the bootleg tunes and set them free. Okay, this is gonna take some doing. Did you notice? A Goofy Movies Bigfoot Flintstone, Toucan Peacock Sam, Casper the Friendly Woody, Donkey Kong the Boo, Cat Samurai Jack, Blue Mighty Mouse, Simple Face Jiminy Cricket, Launchpad, Patrick Fraggle, was that Dipper? Bird Phineas, the Cheshire Cat. Oh look, Gus Gus. Hey, thank goodness Flounder's all right. Wait, Pegasus Bambi? Oh yeah, we're gonna have to watch this through a few more times. There are enough secrets and references in this movie to fill up a whole other video, and we probably will. But for now, we hope you enjoyed this video and had fun finding new cool secrets and details you might have missed the first time around in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Make sure you subscribe to Movie Logic for more daily movie facts, trivia, and Easter eggs.
And cut!